Welcome to the IT Smart Guy podcast, a technology podcast aimed at the modern business owner. And here's your host, Tony Edwards. Hello and welcome to the IT Smart Guy podcast, the tech-based podcast for the modern business owner. My name's Tony and today I'm going off script. There's no news, there's no brain dump, there's no interview. There is a tip at the episode at the end, but yeah, I've just decided this week I just want to sit back, talk, and take it from there. So it's going to be a really short episode, but I feel like I need to say thank you. Thank you to everybody that's listened. Thank you to everyone that's supported the podcast so far. Thank you to everybody that's come on and been a guest. I've got new interviews being recorded over the next few weeks, which will then come out over the coming episodes. So that'll be good. Again, hearing from different people, some within the IT industry, some just general business, some will specify or be from a specific niche, whether that's sales or marketing or web development or something like that. So that's really exciting. What else has happened recently? So just over a week ago, I went to the ICC in Birmingham, where I went to the Small Business Sunday winners event. So we won Small Business Sunday back in November. It was our opportunity to go and meet Theo Paphitis, have our picture taken with him, which will be up either on one of these sides. If you can't see it because you're listening on the podcast, jump over to YouTube, you can see the picture, or you can go and look on our socials, it's up already. So that was a great day. Got to catch up with people that I speak to every now and again. I bumped into somebody that I hadn't seen for 20 years, which was bizarre, but great to catch up. And I think we're going to catch up for coffee and stuff in the near future as well, which would be good because let's face it, business is all about people. What else have we done? Done a couple of networking talks. One was focused on, in fact, they were both focused on networking and my experiences of networking from a business owner's perspective, or from my perspective, really. And I talked about how easy it is to forget that you're there for business, and you turn up to these events, you see the same people, and quite often you forget that you're there to grow relationships, to gain referrals and things like that. And quite often these things get forgotten about unless you're in a network like what they call BNI, for example, who their part of their thing is you have to turn up with a certain, potentially certain numbers of referrals or introductions and those sorts of things. And don't get me wrong, there's a place for that. Doesn't agree with everybody, but some of the networking groups I go to, referrals it should be a key part, and I quite often think it's overlooked. And tagging somebody on a social media post is an easy way of referring somebody, but it isn't a referral. It's just a very cold introduction, and if it leads to business, great, but how often does it? I don't know. I gave a couple of talks about networking and referrals and how easy it is to give a referral. They seem to go down quite well. I believe that one of them was definitely recorded, and that will be going live on that networking group's YouTube channel in the future, so feel free to check that out. Once it is out, I'll make sure it's added onto our YouTube channel so you can go and see it from our channel. And then the other big thing that's been going on of late is the whole DMARC, DKIM, SPF stuff with Google and Yahoo, which we talked about in a few episodes past. Seen a lot more people saying they're having issues with things like HubSpot, MailerLite, MailChimp, because they haven't got their SPF and DMARC and DKIM records set. They're having issues with deliverability. So if you haven't done anything with that yet, get in touch. I've got a dedicated web page. It's bitsmart.tech/DMARC. The link will be in the chat. No, it won't be in the chat because we're not on a Zoom. We're in a podcast. The link will be in the description or the show notes, depending on where you're watching or listening. Go and check it out. All you need to do is pop in your domain name and it will spit out a result within 30 seconds of where you are in your journey. And it will base it on the 4 key areas of email authentication. So SPF, DKIM, DMARC, and then there's BIMI, which is around trademark logos and things like that. Ideally, if you're scoring less than 8 out of 10, there's room for improvement. To get 10 out of 10, you need to have all 4. And unless your logo's trademarked, you're never going to get 10 out of 10. So the best you can get is 8. So for us, from a security perspective, and the fact that we're trying to promote this service, we sit at an 8 out of 10, which to me is good, considering the business is one person. I am a one-man MSP. For those of you that don't know, MSP is a managed service provider. I generally say I'm an IT support company because most people understand that more than managed service provider. But I'm a one-man business and I've got 8 out of 10. It took me a little while to work out how to get it all right, but now it's just being monitored on a regular basis. And I can do the same for you and your business. And if you don't have IT support as well, I can pop it all into a single package for you. Bit of a sales pitch there, but hey, it's my podcast, my rules. So that's about it really for this episode. I didn't really have too much to say. Like I said, I just want to say thank you to everybody for supporting it. Thank you to everybody for listening. Talk about my little SBS win. The certificate's up on the wall already, which is great. Thanks again to everybody at SBS for not only picking my business, but for the day. Like I said, it was immense. Over 1,000 different business owners in the room, and I probably spoke to 5%. You just can't get around everybody in a day. Maybe next year they should do a 2-day event and add some networking type activities into it as well. But hey, it's up to them. Either way, it was a good day, and I'm looking forward to next year already. So what's going to come up in the next few episodes? So like I said, more interviews. Conscious we haven't delivered an interview episode for a little while now, so I've got a couple of recordings coming up, which means they'll go out in the next few weeks. Obviously the news sections stay the same. Really difficult for me to record in advance. Whereas some podcasts they'll record 3, 4, 5 days, if not a couple of weeks in advance, because they're talking about stuff that doesn't change all the time. Whereas the news is changing all the time. So me finding the top news articles for the 2 weeks between episodes is generally looking at what's happening Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the week of release. And focusing on that, and then looking back if it's a quieter 2 weeks. But quite often I'll find 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different things that I could easily talk about. And then it's just making a decision on what we keep, what we don't. So yeah, that's the hardest part about this. Recording the interviews in advance, it saves me time. But yeah, the news and everything else it's almost done on the fly, just because of the nature of the podcast and how I wanted it to run. So yeah, that's kind of it this time. Like I said, it's a nice short episode. It's still probably going to be about 8 to 10 minutes, but of me just generally rambling. But hey, who doesn't love a rambly episode every now and again? So, all that's left for me to say is, again, thank you very much for watching and listening. My tip for this episode tip of the episode. Right, again, on the fly, go and check out the DMARC checker on our website. Link is in the description or the show notes or whatever you want to find it. You can also find it on my social media as well. I've posted it a couple of times on various socials. Pop your domain in. If you score less than 8 out of 10, book a 15-minute call. We can have a chat and we can take it from there. Like I said at the start, short episode. Thanks for watching and listening. My name's been Tony, the IT Smart Guy. Make sure you follow us on your podcast platform of choice. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a like and a subscribe. We're more focused on building our video content now. You will have seen over the last few weeks, if you've been onto our channel, that we've got a number of different videos coming up. So the last couple have been around the Lockbit ransomware, Microsoft Defender, security scam, and why you should have been LastPass if you haven't done it already. Other videos coming up are talking about backup within 365, why you should potentially look to outsource your IT support. I've even done a video talking about Amazon Prime Business Duo, which is perfect if you're a small business. So keep an eye on the channel. Like I said, like and subscribe. And I will see you on the next episode, which will be sometime in the next 10 days. Thanks for listening to the IT Smart Guy podcast. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please do consider to like and subscribe on your podcast platform of choice.